Today we are going to discuss on the scopes and importance of organic agriculture. Agriculture has been the basic source of subsistence of man over thousands of years. Even today it provides a livelihood to half of the world population. The Indian farmer is traditionally organic and farmers were following organic cultivation till the middle of the 20th century. The Green Revolution changed the farming system and has been the cornerstones of Indian agricultural achievement. With the fast increase in population, our compulsion will not only to stabilize agricultural production but also to increase it further in sustainable manner. The scientists have realized that the Green Revolution with the intensive input use has reached a plateau and is now sustained with diminishing return and falling dividends. So a natural balance need to be maintained at all costs for existence of life and prosperity. The obvious choice for that will be reintroductions of organic farming without compromising agriculture production. Consequently, many individuals are seeking so-called alternative practice that will make agriculture more sustainable and lucrative. One such practice is organic farming. Now, the wave of organic farming is expanding rapidly in the world of agricultural scenario. Organic farming uses nature as the best role model for agriculture and considers soil as a living system. India produces primary organic products such as coffee, tea, spices, fruits, vegetables, cereals, cottons, and honey in various agroclimatic zones. At present, organic products receive a price premium of about 20 to 30% over conventional products. Organic agriculture is concerned not only with leaving out technical production aids such as pesticide or synthetically produced chemical, mineral, fertilizers, or simply replacing them with aids permitted in an organic farming system, but is rather more a holistic cultivation system whereby an agricultural site is in organic farming work in harmony with nature rather than against it. This involves using technique to achieve good crop yield without harming the natural environment or the people who are living and work on it. Definition. Lemkin defined organic farming is a production system which avoids or largely excludes the use of synthetically compounded fertilizers, pesticides, growth regulators, and livestock feed additive. To the maximum extent feasible, organic farming systems rely upon crop rotation, crop residues, animals manure, legumes, green manure, off-farm organic waste, mechanical cultivation, manure-bearing rocks, and aspects of biological pest control to maintain soil productivity and till to supply plant nutrients and to control insect weeds and other pests. Organic agriculture is a unique production management system which promotes and enhances agroecosystem health, including biodiversity, biological cycles, and soil biological activity, and this is accomplished by using on-farm agronomic, biological, and mechanical methods in exclusion of all synthetic off-farm inputs. IFOM defined organic farming as the production system that sustains the health of soil, ecosystem, and people by relying on ecological process, biodiversity, and natural cycle, and adapted to local condition than the use of input with adverse effect. According to USDA National Organic Standard Board, organic agriculture is also defined as ecological production management system that promotes and enhances biodiversity, biological cycles, and soil biological activity by adopting management practice that restore maintain and enhance ecological harmony as well as minimize use of off-farm inputs. The Codex Alimentarius Commission also defined organic agriculture as a holistic food production management system which promotes and enhances agroecosystem health, including biodiversity, biological cycles, and soil biological activity. Scopes of organic farming. Organic farming systems have attracted increasing attention over the last 1 decade because they are perceived to offer some solution to the problem currently besetting the agriculture sector. The organic farming has the potential to provide benefit in terms of environmental protection, conservation of non-renewable resources, and improve food quality. Europe have recognized and responded to this potential benefit by encouraging farmers to adopt organic farming practices, either directly through financial incentive or indirectly through support for research, extension and marketing initiative. As a consequence, the organic sector throughout Europe is expanded rapidly, about 24% of world organic land. But in the developing countries like India, the share is around 2% only. However, there is considerable latent interest among the farmers in conversion to organic farming in India. Since India has large potential in terms of favorable different agroclimatic conditions, there is a possibility for undertaking crops cultivation both for domestic as well as export markets. Chemical-free products, which are standardized, have more demand from the developed countries due to high incomes and health consideration. Climatic variation and adaptation of different crops to diverse agroclimatic variation is the real strength of our production base. Availability of wide genetic resources, source of resistance, varying production system, and a strong research network are the strong points from which we have to create the platform to raising production and productivity. Some of the opportunities of organic farming in Northeast India are: number one, varied agroecological zones that offer great scope for production of variety of tropical to temperate crops. Number two, large area under shifting cultivation, that is about 16.72 lakhs hectare area where no inorganic inputs and tillage have ever been used, can be converted into organic zone by recognizing and certifying the area. Number three, the region has 38% of total crop area of 4 million hectare under mid-hill, that is scope of covering large area about 14.2 lakhs hectare under organic farming. 4 points. Land tenure system including small land holding patterns where large-scale commercial agriculture is not feasible. Fifth, hardly around 6 to 8% irrigated areas. A large area still can be brought under irrigation to enhance production and productivity. 6. Thin population density, which means vast areas are still unexploited. Next point, dependence of mid and high altitude farmers on within the farmer renewable resources. Next point, less use of fertilizers and pesticide far below national average. Village leadership pattern whose decision is binding, hence easy to reach larger section through leaders if convinced. Next point, commercialization of wild foods which are in abundance. Next point, vast resource of biomass, green manure, and litter through forest species that can be judiciously used in organic farming system. Next point, low cropping intensity. Well distributed rainfall and low productivity from most of the crop. Time tested indigenous farming system and use of indigenous technical knowledge of farming, which can form a base of organic farming. Next point, ZOOM, nutrient requirements met by natural resources, that is biomass or BioS. Next point, growing of some species of crop in same area is avoided. This minimizes the insects or pest occurrence, which reduce the needs of chemical and pesticide. Next point, no chemical fertilizers and pesticide use. There is only fallen leaves as mulch or animal waste or natural enemies of pests or indigenous practice of pest control. Next point, alder-based farming, nutrient requirement supplement. Next point, contour bonding with available resources and growing of crops along the contour lines, there is soil, moisture and nutrient conservation. Intercropping or mixed cropping with leguminous crops in ZOOM's field, that is it supplement nutrient requirement. Importance of organic farming. Number one, organic farming technique improve the soil. That is, this is of vital importance because soil is at the heart of all food production, whereas conventional chemical intensive method deplete soil. Organic principle add life to the soil and healthy soil product healthy food. Number two, organic foods are free of genetically modified organism, which is also known as GMOs. The vast majority of prepared and processed conventional food contain GMOs. Many consumers remain skeptical of this new technology as the long-term health and ecological implications are largely unknown. Thirdly, organic foods are not irradiated. Irradiation damages the quality of food, and a diet high in irradiated food has not been proven safe over the long term. Biodiversity is improved. Diverse systems are more resilient as they are less prone to disease and infestation. Irradiation using radioactive materials is an environmental and health hazard. Next point, organic farming does not use synthetic pesticide. That is, synthetic pesticides are not only a danger to personal health but are a threat to farm workers, local ecosystem, waterways, and the surrounding communities. Next point, waterways are not contaminated by chemical runoff from conventional farm. This includes pesticide runoff as well as nutrient and pathogen runoff associated with the raising of livestock in an industrial manner. Next point, it reduces reliance on chemical and agribusiness corporation is better for farmer as agribusiness corporation concentrate and consolidates power at both the input and output ends. They have been able to amass huge fortune at the expense of farmer. Next point, animal cruelty. Organically raised animals are raised more ethically, while conventional raised chickens are subjected to life in a battery cage. Organic chicken have the ability to stand up, walk around and access sunlight. Pigs, turkey and cows have access to pasture, fresh air and sunlight. Organically raised animals are not given antibiotics. The overuse of antibiotics in the factory farms has contributed to pollution problems and the outbreaks of many deadly diseases, including listeriosis, E. coli, antibiotic resistant MRAs, that is methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Next point, we pay the cost of one way or another, whereas organic farming internalize the cost of growing food and treating animal well. This is why it costs a bit more at the checkout. Conventional farmer tends to externalize this cost. The air, soil and water pollution. The proliferation of disease from factory farms, the loss of soil and farm communities cause North American between 7 to 20 billion dollar per year. Conclusion: increasing consciousness about conservation of environment as well as health hazard associated with agrochemicals and consumers' preference to safe and hazard free food are the major factors that lead to the growing interest in alternate forms of agriculture in the world. Organic agriculture is one among the broad spectrum of production methods that are supportive of the environment. The demand for organic food is steadily increasing both in the developed and developing countries with an annual average growth rate of 20 to 25%. Organic agriculture, without doubt, is one of the fastest growing sectors of agricultural production. In India, vast stretches of arable land, which is mainly rain-fed and found in the northeast region, where negligible amount of fertilizer and pesticide are being used and have low productivity, could be exploited as potential area. Considering the potential environmental benefit of organic production and its compatibility with integrated agricultural approaches to rural development, organic agriculture may be considered as a development vehicle for developing countries like India in particular.